My F30 sister Kim. F33 had her birthday dinner 2 nights ago. There were about 12 people in attendance. Kim and I aren't close. She was the golden child and I was the scapegoat. Kim was always very cruel to me and got away with it, because my mom never held her accountable. Kim had one too many drinks at dinner and began telling an incredibly traumatizing story from my childhood. Kim constantly tells this story as if it's goofy and light-hearted. The trauma from this situation impacts my daily life. When I was 9 and Kim was 12, we were at my neighbor Nate's house, who was 13. Nate had an old storage trunk in his room. Kim convinced me to get in the trunk. The trunk had a built-in lock that didn't work. Once I was inside, they closed the lid, and somehow, the lock on the trunk suddenly worked again. They tried for several minutes to get it open. At first, I thought they were just messing with me and pretending they couldn't open it. Once I realized they weren't joking, I began to panic. Nate refused to get his parents because he didn't want to get in trouble. He then began making jokes to scare me like, let's throw the trunk down the stairs to see if that opens it, and let's set it on fire and burn her out. After an hour of being trapped in there, he said, I'm not getting in trouble for this. I'm going to watch TV. He and Kim left the room to go watch TV while I cried and panicked. They came back an hour later and tried opening the trunk again. My legs had gone numb and my whole body was aching. I had been crying for hours and told them I felt like I was running out of air. They discussed how they could get me out without getting trouble. Finally, after almost 3 hours of being stuck in there, he finally got his parents. His dad came running in with a crowbar and pried the lid open. His parents apologized to me profusely and grounded Nate. My parents did nothing to discipline Kim and told me I was being dramatic. That experience traumatized me, and to this day I am severely claustrophobic. I can't even cuddle my fiancé because it's too constricting. Kim began telling the trunk story for the 1000th time, laughing throughout, as if it was an amusing childhood story. Without raising my voice, I cut her off and said, that's not a funny story. Kim, you're always telling this story like it's a cute tale from our youth. That was traumatizing. I have regular nightmares and flashbacks from that day. To this day, I have extreme claustrophobia. I could have died from suffocation. It's not like I was in there for 10 minutes. I was in there for almost 3 hours. Everyone got really quiet and just kind of awkwardly stared at their food. We sat in silence for the rest of the meal. It definitely killed the vibe. Kim, and my mom sent me angry texts saying that I owed Kim an apology for making a scene and ruining her birthday. Every time she tells that story, it's like I'm in the trunk again. All the trauma comes flooding back. Aita?